Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's episode. This month we have a special one. We are interviewing a team member, Jade. And before we dive into it, I just want to wish you all a happy new year, and I hope you're having a very good start of the new year. And now let's introduce Jade, or actually let her introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Sara Jade Davidson, and I'm a team member here at The Accidental. I run the Scratch Nights and the Comedy Club Nights.
Class, I call you Jade, but actually your name is Sara Jade.
Most people call me Jade.
Yeah.
Sara Jade's too long. It's
is.
too awkward.
It is.
I'll tell my mother.
So we're just going to take the opportunity this month and speak about the two projects that you run in Accidental Theatre. One is Scratch and the other one is Accidental Comedy Club. If we can speak about Scratch Nights first, just tell people what they are and, basically what they are.
So the Scratch Nights are set up to give new local playwrights a chance to perform their work in front of an audience and see and get the feedback from the audience themselves and see how they're developing their work. Some areas that need development, some areas that the audience think are really good, areas that need improvement. And also just to give people who've never done that type of thing before, who are interested in writing or performing, because we often have shout-outs for actors and other types of, theatre performers, a chance to be in a theatre and perform.
So, can you talk me through the process? For example, I'm a writer and I want to take part in Scratch Night. Do you provide actors, or do I have to get my actors? What's the process to get involved and get to the point where my work is on stage?
Well, it's optional. I mean, most people that apply for Scratch, what you would need to do is you go to the website and you just fill in the application form, tell us about your project, tell us a bit about your experience, things that interest you, and then a sample of the script. Most of the pieces, we like them to be between sort of 10 to 15 minutes. So if you have a piece that's longer than that, a more full-length thing, just an extract of it to be performed fine. And then, a lot of people will have actors they're used to working with, but if you're coming at it from a really basic new level, you've never really done anything like that before, we can connect you with actors or other people that are interested in directing and any other sort of performance. Tech-wise, we like it to be very basic. It's really just a script read-through, a very basic performance of the show, just to see and what it feels like, and for an audience to get a sense of what the writer's trying to do.
Because I've seen a Scratch Night and some people perform, as you said, a small piece of their bigger act, or some people get to work together for the first time, and I've seen that on stage and it was incredible. We couldn't really see that they've worked together for the first time. And just on that, I want to also say that participants get 6 hours of free rehearsal space. Can you tell us a bit more than that?
So in order for, because I think a lot of people who send in pieces for Scratch don't really always know where to begin. So The Accidental offers 6 hours of free rehearsal space in the run-up to the Scratch performances for them to really get it on their feet and perform it in the theatre so they can see how it feels on a stage, and just give them a professional area that's sort of quiet and away from, because it can be hard to find a space where you feel secure in doing something new or performing a piece for the first time, so they can really develop it.
Why do you think it's important? Why would somebody come to Scratch and perform in Scratch or do their readings? What do they get out of it?
Well, we also provide them with video footage of the show so they can see what it looks like on stage. But I think as someone that writes and performs as well, it's really hard to know how you're developing a piece, or if you're hitting the right marks, or you're really getting the story that you want across by just writing it down and then wait until it's done. So Scratch is more for sort of half-done work, or work that's not really for writers that haven't really done it before, where they can get up and see if what they're doing is working, or they need to go a different angle, or they need to base it more on one sort of point, or this, or even the subject matter that they're going for is really getting across. So it's nice for writers and performers to get that feedback from an audience, just to know that they're going in the right direction or know whether to change.
Yeah, and on that, can you tell us more about the feedback process? Because, like, the person performs their piece or represent it, and then how do they get the feedback from the audience, and who are the audience? Like, what's that process of, like, feedback from the audience?
Well, the audience, it tends to be just people that have bought ticket, people that have seen that are interested in performance themselves. There tends to be a lot of other writers and theatre makers that come. And on the night when the show is performed, there's usually, or after every piece, we usually have 3 or 4 pieces each scratch night. There'll be a break where the audience is asked to, write down some feedback on the post-its and forums and stuff, and then they'll stick that into the designated area for each piece. Also, there'll be a code that they can scan to go online and leave feedback there, and then we will send that all over to the performers and writers themselves, and also they get to take away the written feedback too.
And the questions are asked by the performers?
Yeah, so the questions, the performers decide what areas, and the writers decide what areas that they feel that they need the most feedback on. A lot of them will have like a selection of things that they'll choose from, sometimes last minute, to just really like focus their attention on certain areas. So that's good, so people can sort of see, people already kind of have a basic idea of what the answers they're going to be getting back are about, so they're not like sieving through all this different information. So it's all very laid out for them.
Nice. And can people return, like, do, for example, someone performs their piece or represent it at the beginning of the year, can they come back to another scratch night after they've worked on it and, like, taken the feedback in consideration and worked on their piece? Can they come back and perform it again?
Oh yes, definitely. We've had several acts come back over the development of their, their theatre pieces. And we all just ask that there's maybe like a 3 or 4 month gap in between the pieces, just so we get like a different show every time. But definitely, we really like to continue working with people and seeing how they develop.
And say, I just want to add to that, if someone gets to a point where they can perform a full piece of theatre or whatever piece they're working on, if they get it to a point where it's actually ready to be performed in front of audience and take a full gig for themselves, they can also reach out to us and book our theatre space to actually, like, we would help them curate that event and help them perform it in Accidental.
Yeah.
And I also want to add that scratch nights are bi-monthly.
Yes.
Yes, a Thursday every 2 months, which gives enough time for people to sign up and also get to use the 6 hours of rehearsal space before the actual event. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Scratch?
So if you want to get involved with Scratch, you just go onto the site, and there'll be a wee thing on the Scratch page just at the bottom to send your name and details through. It'll send you an application, and I'll just ask you to fill in those details I was talking about. What's your background in theatre, the project, what the questions you would like to ask, what you hope to gain from it. And then someone will get in touch with you.
Yep. Someone, me.
I will get in touch with you. Maybe.
And just to clarify that there are 2 ways of getting involved in Scratch. One, that you can buy a regular ticket to come as an audience. And then there's a sign up to perform box. And this is where you find the form to sign up for performing and presenting your work. Thank you for telling us about Scratch. And now we can dive into the comedy club.
Comedy clubs are like, it's just a fun thing, isn't it?
Of course it is.
It's a fun thing. Well, comedy club, we really just like to give I do stand up myself, so we like to give, other local stand-ups a bit of stage time and some video footage, and just see what comedians are out there because there's a lot of different acts that maybe people don't see all the time that we're just trying to give them a bit of space for and develop them as well into doing sort of more long form shows, much like Scratch too.
Yeah. And just that you spoke about the videoing, I just want to clarify that the videoing aspect of these events is really important because some artists don't get a chance to get their pieces videoed professionally. So, for example, in Scratch, people get a chance to get a recording of their piece, so that they can review it and they can work on it and like reflect, see themselves performing and presenting their work. They can also use it to promote their work in like theater spaces and curators and theater makers. And it applies the same for the comedy club as well, where comedians can get the recording of their, like the footage of their pieces and then also promote themselves in other comedy clubs around Belfast or anywhere else to like put themselves forward for even festivals and so on. So I just wanted to point out this aspect and like this service that we provide in Accidental because I think it's really valuable.
Yeah. It's good also for, I know for a lot of the comedians, just professionally to be able to re-watch yourself and highlight some of the mistakes and really develop it. And especially with Scratch as well, a lot of them just use it as development because they're in the midway of developing things. I do know a few people that have used the Scratch videos for funding applications and things like that, so they are really useful and they are free. Ish. No, they are. Yeah, so I think it's a really nice aspect of the shows, and it's something different that I don't think a lot of people offer.
Yep. And so going back to the Accidental Comedy Club, how can people get involved, get themselves on the stage for a comedy club?
Well, much like Scratch, if you would like to get involved or you want to try stand-up comedy, there is at the bottom of the Accidental Comedy Club page, there's a get involved sign up, and that's where you'll find the tickets as well. I mean, if you're not sure if you want to do it, just come down to the club and say hello and someone will get you on. I'm sure I can talk you into it. It's very welcoming, calm space where I think a lot of the guys that I tend to have on are new, so it's not too daunting for people if they haven't done it before.
That's nice. That's good to know. And also, it's good to know that people can come and watch. Like, it's the same as Scratch. There's 2 strands where you can buy a ticket to come and watch as an audience, and also you can fill the form to perform. And if you were thinking about performing but not sure, you can just come in and watch and, like, get a feeling of the room and the atmosphere, and then decide for yourself if you want to perform in the next one. And comedy clubs are every month.
Yes.
Yes.
They move about a wee bit. We're trying to find the perfect day. The next one's the 13th of February. Hoping a Thursday's going to work, but we've always got loads of different comedy gigs on. Hoping to do more like long form shows as well off the back of some of the comedians we're developing.
That's very nice, and I hope it was useful for people.
I do too.
We hope to see more of you taking part in Scratch and comedy, and also if you would like just to come in for a nosy and watch something. And if you know any groups or any artists, please reach out, and we'll put in the caption our website and the pages for Scratch Nights and for the Accidental Comedy Club. And also there's always a window of you communicating to us, contacting us via email, phone calls. It's all on the website. We also have a page of how can we help you build your career, how can we help you develop. So please reach out, and if you have any suggestions and anything you'd like to get involved in. We also have a volunteering opportunity that's also on the website. We're going to put all of this in the caption. So if you're just starting, if you're a student, if you have a spare hour in your week and you would like to get more involved in the art scene in Belfast, please reach out and we'd love to have you. And I think that's us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching, and see you next episode.